Okay, so let's talk about a mystery that I think pretty much everyone has faced. We're going to call it the case of the disappearing salary. You know the feeling, right? It's maybe a week or two after you get paid. You glance at your bank account and you just get this sinking feeling. Wait a second, where did it all go? And that's the part that's so confusing. It's not like you went out and made some huge purchase. You didn't book a big trip, there's no new phone, and yet the money has just vanished. To solve this little mystery, let's actually rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the month, to that one really good day. Ah, payday. That feeling. Your phone buzzes, you see that little notification, and for a moment, you can just breathe. Everything feels a little lighter, a little easier. You feel like you're in charge. But then, well, then life starts to happen. And this is where we find our very first clue. It's hiding in all the small things, the tiny little choices we make, every single day. It always starts so innocently. You're on your way to work and you think, you know what, I'm just going to grab a coffee. It feels so small. It just makes the morning feel a little better. Then lunchtime hits. You're busy, you're tired. Ordering some food it's just easier, right? Again, it doesn't feel like a big deal. It feels totally normal. And maybe later that night, you're just relaxing, scrolling on your phone, and ooh, you see something you kind of like. It's not expensive at all. You just click buy. It's a little treat for yourself. And here's the thing. None of these purchases on their own feel like a big deal. Our brain just doesn't register a $5 coffee as a major financial decision. And that's exactly why these little spends are so sneaky and so powerful. Okay, so that's one part of the puzzle, but there's another kind of spending going on, one that's even quieter. Let's talk about the invisible money drains. Does this list look a little familiar? Yeah, these are all the subscriptions that are literally designed for you to forget about them. Some of them you probably use every day, but some maybe you haven't touched in months. I'm willing to bet there's at least one on your list you completely forgot you were even paying for. And this right here, this is the whole game. They don't need your permission every month. The money just leaves, quietly, regularly, endlessly. It's like this constant silent hum of money flowing out in the background. And that brings us to another huge one, the convenience trap. We grab a ride instead of walking. We get food delivered instead of making it. And in that moment, it feels like we're being good to ourselves. It saves us time. It saves us energy. But all that convenience has a price, and we end up paying it over and over and over. So, you've got the small daily buys, the forgotten subscriptions, all those little choices for comfort. When you add it all up, what's really going on here? What's the truth? It's this, the idea of a silent leak. See, your money isn't disappearing in one big dramatic flood. It's escaping through all these tiny unnoticed holes that all together are slowly draining everything away. And this is probably the most important thing to realize. You didn't make one giant mistake. This isn't about you being bad with money. It's about hundreds of tiny little decisions that are so small you barely even notice them happening. If the problem is a leak, what's the solution? Well, the good news is you don't need some huge, complicated plan. All you really need is one simple thing. It's the power of just noticing. Seriously, the first step isn't to build some strict, scary budget that makes you feel guilty all the time. No, it's way gentler than that. It's just to start paying attention, to simply notice where the money is going. Because when you start to notice, something really cool happens. First, you actually see where the money is going. Then, because you see it, you naturally just pause, just for a second. And in that little pause, you get to choose. You get to decide. You get your control back. And this isn't about flipping your whole life upside down. It's about really small, gentle actions. Maybe it's just canceling one subscription you never use, or deciding, hey, I'm going to cook one more meal at home this week, or just questioning one little impulse buy. These small changes add up to a really big deal over time. So let's end with this thought. If your salary ever feels like water just slipping right through your fingers, just remember this. It isn't bad luck, it's just small holes. And the most wonderful, hopeful truth is that small holes, well, they can be closed, one by one. If this felt real to you, like the video and share it with someone who always wonders where their money goes. And follow Stickman Explains for more simple stories about real life, because big problems should be easy to understand.